How's it going, everybody? And welcome back to a special edition of the Sleepy Hearth. For today, we're going to be going over the Journey to Ungrow cards. But before we do that, I gotta say, patreon.com/sleepyhearth. Go there, throw money, and I'll catch it. That's all there is to it. So, the format today is we're going to be going over each of the classes in their own respective videos. And then finally we'll be reviewing the neutral cards. I know this is a bit late, but I'll try to put out 2 and in some cases maybe 3 videos a day to get it so we can get just right around the start of the expansion. But so let's jump right in. We are starting with Druid. But I suppose first we can say that the cards are coming out April 6th. I thought it was actually going to be later. 135 new cards. So a new tribe called Elemental. There's new quest cards, and they come in the form of legendary spells. We're going to be going over the keyword adapt, which is at the bottom here. So when you see the adapt mechanic on a card, what that's going to be is it's a discover, but for abilities. Like, for example, Liquid Membrane can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. Flaming Claws is +3 attack. Divine Shield. Death Rattle, summon 2 1/1 plants. Taunt. Wind and Fury. 1/1. +3 health. Stealth. Poisonous. So 3 random options for adapt cards will show up out of that, and you'll get to choose. So let's go ahead, jump right in. Also, a lot of things are being moved over from standard into wild. These 4 right now are the only ones for standard until the summer of this year and respectively the fall. Which means all of these are now in the wild format. Crazy, I know. No more Reno decks. Kind of thankful, to be honest. But who knows, it might get something even crazier in the mix. So we're starting off with Druid. And we have Tirantoes here, who is a 10 mana 12/12. And he automatically can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. Now, as for being a legendary card, a 10 mana 12/12, I think that's actually a pretty good deal. Just standard as is. It doesn't feel super legendary because you expect some great things to come out of legendaries, as in some cool effects or some flashy whatever. But honestly, just a 10 mana 12/12 that can stand on its own without any fear of being hexed or polymorphed or anything. Sounds like a good time to me. I think it's a pretty good card. So depending on what else we see in this expansion that could synergize with maybe putting on multiple copies or whatnot, we could see some good play potential here. We're going to just check out the first couple of comments. We have Battlecry, turn your hero into a Stormtrooper. I don't know why that's there. I'm crafting that day 1. Sawgoth the Slither playable. That's a bit different. And then Menagerie Warden, choose a friendly beast, summon a copy of it. Now that's going to be nuts. Yep, so things like that will be really cool. So, let's move on to the next card. Okay, so we have the Jungle Giants, which is a legendary spell, aka quest. Quest, summon 5 minions with 5 attack or more, and the reward, Barnabas. Well, luckily, we can go right down here, check out what Barnabas is. So after meeting the quest requirements, we will give Barnabas as a reward, which is Battlecry, reduce the cost of minions in your deck to 0. And it's a 5 mana 8/8. So it sounds like a pretty crazy thing. But you have to remember, for this new quest mechanic, you have to first summon the 5 things. So the game has to last long enough for you to summon 5 more after you play this card. You know, as far as I know, I don't think quests start at the beginning of the game or anything. I think you actually have to draw the card and then play out 5 more. That would be it's pretty nuts unless you get that in opening hand, and then you might do it. And even then, it's still going to take a long time. So it's not exactly the easiest thing in the world. Let's go ahead and discuss Barnabas. Reduce your cost minions deck to 0. Sounds like a good time. It kind of reminds me of that one priest card where you get to reduce reduce the hero power to 0. Pretty interesting take on that. I think it's going to be fun. Kind of annoying. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off, so unless I get it, I probably won't craft it or anything. Alright. Now we have the Giant Anaconda. Death Rattle, summon a minion from your hand with 5 or more attack. Now I wonder if that's going to count towards the prerequisite, because for example, a lot of times when you have things automatically summoned, battle cries don't come into play. So that's why I kind of wonder. But as for a 7-mana 5/3 with a Death Rattle like that, the only thing I don't like about it is if you don't happen to have another 5 attack or more in your hand. But I'm guessing with a deck that runs that quest, it's probably something you're going to want to take into consideration. So you're probably going to have a decent amount of them. So I would imagine that wouldn't be the world's worst problem. A couple of things here. 3 HP makes it look like crap, but it's actually an advantage because for a very strong Death Rattle, Deathwing Dragonlord becomes a 112 against Paladin, where they put up cheap taunts and tempo you out, or Frostbolt and leave it alive. Its HP works. Its high HP works against it. Okay, then we have either good or trash. Could put in Sated, Shoulder, Charge, Devil Sword. But if it puts out a Volcanosaur or Tortola, Primalist, trash. I'm going to assume we're going to get to this pretty soon. So, let's move on to Living Mana. Alright, so this is a 5-mana spell. Transform your mana crystals into 2/2 minions. Recover the mana when they die. That's interesting, and it doesn't say anything about active mana crystals, so I would imagine it's turn 7. You would get 7 2/2s on the field, but in return, while they're active, you don't get to use that mana. Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. So, the comments will tell me. This is OP. Well, I guess there's your answer. Okay, I think everyone is missing the point of this card. It's best to use a last-ditch effort and an all-in play in an aggro or druid deck. Dump your hand, play aggro, get them low, nuke your mana for one last push. If they can't deal with a board full of 2/2s after dealing with all the aggro previously, they auto-lose and get smashed by all the tokens. Okay, that does seem like an interesting way to put it on. I'm not going to read the whole paragraph, but I will leave it up here for a moment. For if you're watching on YouTube, you'll have a chance to pause it and actually come back to reading it later. Let's see. Turn 4. That's one of the neutrals. We'll get into that later. So yeah, if you want to read all these comment sections, you can just come to Hearthstone yourself. Until then, moving on. Evolving Spores. Adapt your minions. Now, it doesn't say minions. I'm going to assume it's just minions on the field, not the ones in the hand. But let's see if the comments. We can adapt to adapt. Let's see. See, I like this card a lot because, quite frankly, it makes things interesting. And I love interesting. This is like buff Druid, if you think about it. And we all know how much I love my buff Pally, so who knows, maybe buff Druid will be a thing. And I just play a adapt deck, and that'll be a really, really good time. So, I don't know, I'm going to try it out. It's kind of like nothing crazy, but I don't think it's too shabby. New trap card sucks in Egg Druid. I don't know what that is yet. See, I haven't been paying attention to the theory crafted decks. This is actually my first time really diving into the new cards. So, people are coming up with their combos and things. I'm just like, hey, sounds like a fun card. That's why I usually don't get beyond rank 15. I just like having too much fun with the game, doing random things. Okay. Shell Shifter. Choose, it's a 4-mana, 3/3. Choose one. Transform into a 5/3 with stealth, or a 3/5 with taunt. So it's just like all those other cards, but this one actually has a taunt. And I like that. Actually, no, it's comparable to what's called Druid of the Claw, right? Yeah, it's basically the same thing, except it doesn't have charge. It's just a 5/3 stealth. This thing looks like a water egg. It's funny. There you go. Perfect. Okay. Oop. Could be good. Wish there was another choose one card for Fandral Synergy. Really like the art. Pick the 5-3 form will count for the quest. Ooh, these questions and more. Okay, I suppose synergy with the quest works as well as Senjin. Raptor form. Oh, I see. This is the different forms it takes. And then the Fandral. I like how the Fandral actually gets its own art. And has singular provocation. Okay. Alright, cool. So moving on through. Earthen Scales. Give a friendly minion 1/1, then gain armor equal to its. Oh wow. I'm sorry, what? Wait, what? This is a 1 mana? You're joking me, right? Give a friendly minion 1/1 and then gain armor equal to its attack. So say you got something out there with 7 attack, or 5 attack or more really. You're going to be gaining no less than 6 armor off of a 1 mana spell. That's insane. Wow. Seriously though, who the F designed this card while Jade Idol is still in standard? Oh man. Okay. Infinite value. Trump. True. An awesome design. A lot of text. Welcome to the Jade Druid Meta 2.0. You know what though? If you think about it, this card, and I'm going to go over this for a little bit, my theory here, is you're going to need it. Because quite frankly, if you're running the quest deck, you're going to have a lot of 5 attacks, and it's going to take you a long time to play them out, which means you're going to be susceptible to early on damage. So really this looks like a really good thing for survivability, but honestly that armor's going to disappear real quick because you're going to be pumping out just 1 or 2 minions a turn at most, and probably not have a ton left to do with survivability, just because of how expensive those things tend to be. So, once again, I could be completely wrong, but that's just kind of my take on it. It doesn't seem too bad. I'll definitely keep an eye on it. Alright, now we have the Verdant Longneck. There's a 5 mana, 5/4, Battlecry Adapt, so it's pretty standard. It's a common card. I think I'd definitely play it. The adapt mechanic is definitely good enough for me to consider it. And plus it goes along with the quest. So there you go. You gotta consider all the things here. Okay. I wish Blizzard would understand if you want deck diversity on ladder, you actually have to print good cards for different archetypes. This is utter garbage. If Blizzard wanted to make an adapt Druid deck, or I guess I'm gonna have to give Jade a shot if I don't see any better cards for Druid. I kind of agree, but at the same time, as someone who likes to experiment with things, I could still see it being kind of fun. But I suppose for the top tier of plays, it might not be the best. But for Arena, this might be pretty decent too. I don't know. Elder Longneck. Battlecry. If you're holding a minion with 5 or more and 5 or more attack, adapt. This feels like a shade. Feels like Druid's finally got one of the shade cards. It's kind of hilarious. Don't think this card's going to see amount of play. Well, it's true that Divine Shield and plus 3 health will be useful more often than not. More often, most of the adapt options, there may be times when stealth is good, or tone allows you to force favorable trade. Even a plus 3 attack or wind fury could be good in useful situations. Putting a pressure point to kill right away or die. Give the Druid quest and be synergy. I bet we'll see this guy a lot constructed. Yep. I know. He needs to be a rager, dude. He really does. Elder Longneck Rager. That's just what it needs to be. So, or Beast Rager. Come on, Blizz. You're missing your opportunity. We're pretty much handing it to you on a plate. God. I'm willing to bet the flavor text is going to say something. In fact, I don't know if the flavor text is already available. I think that would have to be data mined. But, regardless, good times. So, I think it's going to be fun. I mean, for a 3 mana with adapt, I'd do it. I'd try it. Alright. Tortolan Forager. Battlecry. Add a random minion with 5 or more attack to your hand. Okay. Yeah, so it's a pretty standard 2 mana 2/2 Battlecry kind of a thing. And it's not a discover. It is simply a random. So I'm going to assume that it's class specific or neutral. So who knows what we're going to see. Could be crazy. Great value and quest energy, pretty best. 2 drops, so you probably won't keep this in your hand. Unless you're not planning on having wild growth in your deck. Okay, thanks to Magma Ranger, this is awesome when you thanks to Magma Ranger, this card is awesome when you look at your cards. Like Scarab 2.0. We're gonna go ahead and thumbs that up. It's like 3 new Druid cards, man. Thanks, Blizzard. Insane Arena, but bad and constructed. And of course, it's so cute, because why not? Alright, so that is actually going to cover Druid. Let's go back up for a second. Make sure we got them all. Make sure I didn't accidentally close one out. Alrighty. Well, that is actually going to end it for this episode. Next time, we're going to be discussing the Hunter cards. And then so on and so forth. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode today. For those of you watching on Twitch, stick around. That is twitch.tv/thesleepyhearth. For those of you watching on YouTube, so go ahead, check it out. And I'll talk to you guys later.